Khwezi Talks, where we grow in conversation. Hashtag Let's Talk.
Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's video, we're still talking fear, we're still talking doubt, but specifically in today's video, we're talking how to overcome those things. So we're going to pick up right off where we left off in the previous video. The link of that video is in the description. If you haven't seen it, please do, so this video makes more sense to you. Okay, so as I said in the previous video, it was a matter of, okay, so do I pick something I want to do, or do I pick something that is expected of me? Do I pick something that is challenging, which is what I want to do, or do I go for something that I'm more comfortable in, something that's more familiar to me, and something that's also almost like second nature to me because it's something I've done for such a long time? And as you know, I told you I didn't do anything. I just went along with it. So I went so far along with it that I actually did finish school. I graduated. And there were such pivotal moments in the journey that always reiterated something to me that I've always known, which was, I do not want to do this, right? So with my graduation, I was happy that I graduated. I was happy that I finished school. But it wasn't, I didn't feel like a sense of accomplishment, or I didn't feel closer to something. When you achieve a goal and you feel like, okay, you're getting closer and closer to whatever it is that you want. I didn't feel that. It just felt like a task that I had completed, and I was like, okay, I'm done with this. What's next? And it was then that I realized, no, money, the life I'm living isn't the life I want. It's not the life I feel fulfilled living. It's not my life. I remember watching everyone around me being super excited, everyone around me being my family, being super excited that I graduated, and they were like going up and down planning outfits and all those things, and I was just like, yeah, this one is not it, hey? And don't get me wrong, I know the privilege that I was granted to be able to finish school, because education is something that is not accessible to everyone. It's almost like a luxury nowadays. And so I understand all of that, and I also understand that because I have that degree, I'm in a better position, because now I don't have to start from scratch. There's always something that I can fall back on, right? But it still didn't feel like it was mine. It still didn't feel personal to me. It just felt like a rite of passage, something that I was meant to do because I was in the position to do it, or I was at that age, or it was just another stage in this life thing. It didn't feel like an accomplishment of mine. So I was like, this is it. I'm putting an end to it. This is where it stops. I will no longer do what is expected of me if that's not something that I want to do, or if it's something that I expect of myself. So now it was me versus the status quo. The status quo comprises of a lot of things. It comprises of familial expectations, societal expectations. It comprises of cultural expectations, religious expectations. It comprises of just a lot of things, and your position also differs from each person, right? So the first thing into overcoming that was then having to define what the status quo was. What was I challenging against? What was I dismantling? Because you can't fight what you don't know, and you can't fight what you don't see. So then I put out a plan, right? And I literally wrote things down. I put out a plan. I was like, okay, this is the status quo. My status quo was social expectations, right? And also expectations within my family. This is what I know is expected of me. And so I was like, okay, this, I'm not doing that. And I was like, okay, okay, I'm cool with these. And the things I weren't doing was, I am no longer going to do things I know will make you happy if those things mean that I won't be happy. So I'm only okay doing things that will bring me joy and bring you joy as well. But I'm also happy doing things that will bring me joy that may disappoint you, and that's okay. we'll figure it out when that stage comes, right? So that was the first thing. I needed to define what status quo I was challenging. What was the fight I was fighting? That's number one. Number two is then you have to, after defining, question. So question why these things are the way they are. Okay, this is what is expected from me. Why am I expected to do this? Why is it me? And why is it this specific thing? And I realized, okay, so with the education at home, it's the only sense of security. So my parents and my aunties and my uncles and my cousins, everyone, they just wanted something that would ensure security for me. They just wanted something that my livelihood could always be based upon an unshakable foundation, which is education. So it's like, oh, okay, no, then it's fine, Mos. I do have the degree, so the unshakable foundation is there. So now I no longer have to subscribe to your views. It's okay. What you guys wanted from me is there. So after the definition and after the questioning, then came number three, which was breaking the patterns. So I needed to then make a way, or rather do away with the way that I was living and the patterns that I'd become so familiar with, so comfortable with. And that was the hard part, because it it was almost like addiction, you know. If you're so used to something, it's so hard pulling away from that. And I'm still struggling to do that. I feel like, oh, I things were so much easier when I was in school. Maybe I should just go back to school. But I'm also like, no, there's a reason you didn't go to school this year. And going back to school because of the difficulty you're facing isn't going to make the difficulty go away. It's just gonna multiply it, because you're gonna be in school thinking, I don't want to be here, but I'm here because I thought it would be easier, and then you find out it's actually not. So I was like, you know what, let me just soldier on, let me just do this. So that was the third thing. And then the fourth thing was then surrounding yourself with like-minded people. So if you want to be an entrepreneur on social media, follow entrepreneurs. If you want to be a creative or a content creator, follow other content creators. If you want to be a philosopher, a singer, I don't know, whatever, but follow yourself, follow people that are in the space you want to be in. Surround yourself with those people. But also it gets to a point, don't do it too much that you then become consumed by those people. Now you can't differentiate between you and them. There has to be that difference, right? Because you have to make whatever it is that you're trying to do personal to you. So if you follow too many people or you consume so much of someone else, you may not be able to distinguish where they end and where you begin. That was the fourth thing. Then the fifth thing was then the fifth thing was then embracing the discomfort. The embarrassment that comes with starting something new. Oh my goodness. The embarrassment you feel, and yes, nyan. It's so uncomfortable and it's so embarrassing, and but that is the way things are. That's the journey. That's how you know you're in the right direction. Embarrassment is the price of starting something new, especially if that something new is outside your limitations, it's outside things that you've always done, it's outside your comfort zone. You will feel uncomfortable. It's gonna feel uncomfortable. It's gonna feel like you're an imposter. It's gonna feel so embarrassing. You're going to want to stop. Let me just go back to my default settings. But that's how you know you're in the right direction. That's how you know what you're doing is so fulfilling, when it's so fearful and embarrassing. That embarrassment, that fearfulness isn't a stop sign. It's actually a good campus, because it shows you that you are in the right direction. So embrace the discomfort, embrace the embarrassment. The sixth step then is creating a new default. Breaking the status quo or living outside of expectation doesn't just mean it's a one big rebellion thing and then that's it. It's really about building a new identity. So then you have to ask yourself, who do I want to become? What does that version of me do daily? And how can I make that my new normal? And you do that by building new rituals, you do that by adapting new habits and building new systems that replace your old version of you so that there's space for the new person that you're trying to become. And so that's really how you have to do it. You have to ask yourself, okay, so from the person that I was, what was holding me back and what worked? But then even in what worked in what way? So it worked because I was trying to achieve a certain thing. So now that I'm trying to achieve another thing, will that system still work? Will that operative way still work? And if the answer is no, then you're gonna have to do away with that. So that's really how I did it. That's how I overcame my fear and my doubt. I started crafting out new daily goals. I'm still struggling. Sometimes I do them, sometimes I don't, because I was so comfortable with the old me, right? And comfort is addictive. So sometimes there are withdrawals. I'm just like, yes, I don't know, but then I remind myself that isn't going to serve you in any way. And it's not going to serve the purpose you're trying to do, nor is it going to be of service towards the person you're trying to become. So then as soon as those things clock into Valentine's, let me just do it. And this is actually my implore to you. We're all in our early 20s, I'm guessing, or if there are any teenagers on here, I'm honest. Do away with your bad habits. Do away with your bad habits. I know it's hard because I'm struggling to do the same, but you have to try. As is you're gonna have to try and you're gonna have to fight towards them. It's literally gonna be you and your habits like this, and you have to soldier on. Your habits are literally begging you not to grow. They are pulling you back. They're like, no, don't grow. So you fighting against them is you reclaiming your right to grow and to evolve. And you fighting against the status quo or living outside of expectations is you defining life in your own terms. Because living towards the status quo or living inside it or living within the limitations that expectations carve out for us is literally you being a spectator in your life instead of being on the field and playing, because this is your life. So you need to make decisions that reflect you and decisions that make you happy. Because again, this is your life. You will disappoint people. You need to be okay with that. People will get disappointed. Whoop-de-doo. Okay? You will feel scared. Just because you've done all these steps doesn't mean now your fears are just gonna suddenly go away, or you won't be scared to do anything anymore. You still will feel scared sometimes, but those are just feelings. Feelings are fleeting, and feelings, especially such as fear, should not determine your actions. Your actions and your feelings should be kept separated at all times. You should still do something even if it scares you, but you should also leave space or hold space for that fear. Feel it, let it have its time, but still do what you need to do. Your feelings shouldn't determine your actions at all. Use logic for your feelings. Use logic for your actions, and then let your heart handle the feelings, right? Because soze wenze into if uzawumanye into yobana yonjoyika, then asawuphinda wenze next apha ebomini bakho, because kaloku wena uhleli nje uyoyika. Right? So you cannot let fear deter you from doing things you really want to do. And lastly, just because you've now taken on to being this new person, or you are now determined in this new journey, doesn't mean you won't fail. You still may fail, because again, this is something that is new. So most things you're gonna figure them out as you go. But then the failing shouldn't be your giving up moment. You shouldn't stop because you failed. You should just rather determine what made you fail. So what did you do wrong, and not do that the next time you try again. And that is it from me today. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. I really hope that these videos have sparked something in you that makes you want to try and, you know, just do something out of the ordinary, or go back to something you've always wanted to do but you were afraid of doing. Hope that this, you know, was like your push into that direction. I am also very, very, very thankful that you guys are watching me as I find my feet. You are literally watching me as I grow, and I'm so happy and appreciative to have you guys alongside with me as I go into this journey. So next week we are talking relationships. We're talking relationships. As you know, relationships are a big part of our lives, you know, and I would like to share what they mean to me, but I'd also like to hear what they mean to you. So that's all happening in this coming week. I'm talking all types of relationships, friendships, romantic relationships, relationships between your family, what they mean, how they shape you, forgiveness in those type of relationships, or even grief in how, you know, like when relationships end, what that means, and all of those things. So that's all happening this coming week, and I can't wait to talk to you guys about them, but I can't even wait to hear what you guys think. So thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you so much for tuning in. Please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and tell your people to watch this channel, okay? See you next time. Bye.
Khwezi Talks. Hashtag Let's Talk.